All right, so plan for today is shapes 11 through 15. Let's go ahead and get started. For part 11, I'm going to create sort of this bottom portion first, but I'm going to do it sort of in two steps. You can see that this center point right here is the center point for this inside arc, but it's also the center point for the outside arc, which is convenient. And so the way I'm going to start is with sort of a brick that's too tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wide, which will just be this part, and extruded 4. And then I'm going to add this on top and extrude it down. And once I have that, then I can cut this out and worry about this part afterwards. So let's start a sketch. On the XY plane, we'll get a rectangle. And we can make it 9 wide and 2 tall. And finish sketch. And extrude it 4. And hold on a second. Am I using the correct? Yeah, hopefully that's coming in audio wise. And so the top part, we'll put a sketch on the top. I'm going to rotate it this way. And you can see that they share that center point, like I said, which means I can just make a circle with this as a center point, which will be that big. And it will, as long as I don't make it cut through, I can extrude it down and it will just add material. If you extrude something through something else, it doesn't make it like double density or something. And so we're going to do circle on this side and make it like that. And we'll finish sketch, extrude, choose the circle and switch directions, not to cut, just directions. And the distance we want is 2. Okay, and let's take a look at this first slot right here. Because this center point of this side of the arc shares the center point here, when we put a sketch on top, we'll get a snap to that point. And I'm going to make this sort of pill shape with a combination of one circle over here. And then I'm going to make a line that goes over here to the center point, which is 3 away. Make another circle over here, and then connect the top to the top and the bottom to the bottom. There's probably an easier way, but this works. So put a sketch on top. And I need one circle that snaps to the center point that they give us. And this circle is a diameter of 2. You can look on the thing if you want to. I'm going to get a line. I don't need to use a line. I could just make another circle and dimension the distance of the center points, but the line will lock it in place. And the distance, well, if I actually make it horizontal. There we go. And we'll dimension this to 3. And that the other endpoint in this line will be the center point for this circle, which this also has a diameter of 2. And then I can just connect, and I'll get sort of a soft snap to the top center of this circle and another snap to the top center of there. And same thing there, and same thing there. Finish sketch, extrude, and does it let me choose it? It does. So we're going to choose all of this and switch it. Now we're going to switch it to cut and through all, hit OK. There's that portion. And for the other part, I'm going to make a sketch on the front here and just make a rectangle that is 2 tall and 4 wide, which will be this bottom part, extrude it back. And then in another, well, I can do this first part all in one part feature. So I'll do this all in one, and then I'm going to put another sketch on the front to make the whole. And you really could do that all in one part feature, but I don't like to bisect the circles. So I need one rectangle here that's just sort of the base, which is 2 tall and 4 wide. And then I'm going to put a circle that snaps to the center point, and I don't even really need to dimension it. If it snaps to the center point and snaps to the corner there, we'll finish sketch, extrude, choose all of this, switch directions, and, well, I missed a part. There we go. All of it, extrude it a distance of 4. Then to do the whole, start a sketch right here. We'll get a snap to the center point, which is, this circle is a diameter of 2, and we'll finish sketch, extrude, choose this, switch it to cut, and through all, hit OK. Okay, there is part 11. Part 12, very similar. I'm going to do the same base, which is, I think, 8 by 2 with some circles on the end and circles through the middle. So we'll just start with a rectangle that is 8 wide and 2 tall. Finish sketch, zoom out, extrude this 4. Then sketch on the top. And I need one circle right here that'll just snap to the center point there. And another circle, snap to the center point there. Finish sketch. Extrude, choose this, switch direction, and only extrude at a distance of 2. Then the 2 holes for the side, I need another sketch. And I can just make a couple of 2-inch circles here. There's one. There's another. Finish sketch. Extrude. Make sure to choose just the circle. Switch it to cut through all. Hit OK. Then for the center part, I am going to do this in 2 steps. I'll put a sketch here that is 2. Hold on. The distance to the center point is 3. So I want a rectangle that's 3 tall, 4 wide. But the key is that it's, how can I do this? Now, actually, I'm going to put a sketch on this surface, make a rectangle that's sort of the base of this, that's 4 by 4. It's 4 wide, and it's 4 wide this way. It's the entire front to back this way. But the other dimension we need is the distance from the center point. And when you put the rectangle on there, you'll be able to see that there are still, it'll say like 1 dimension needed in the corner. So we need a rectangle that goes all the way from the front edge to the back edge. The distance from one side to the other is 4. But the 1 dimension we still need is essentially the location of this rectangle, which the distance from one side of the rectangle to the center point of either side is 2. That should center it. Finish sketch, extrude, and extrude it 3. And then we can put a sketch on the side and put a circle that just snaps to the center point and snaps to the corner. You don't even need to dimension it as long as you're using snaps in that case. Extrude, switch directions, and extrude it 4. And then there is another hole right here that we can put a circle, diameter of 2, finish sketch, extrude, choose it, switch it to cut through all, hit OK. And that is part 12. 13 has a tricky part up at the top because this arc right here has a radius of 1. It's not using this as the center point. So I'm going to use actually the fillet tool when we get there, but we're not there yet. We're going to start the base the same way as we did the other ones. 2 tall and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. And extruded 4. Then we'll add the circle, add the curve on the outside, and another move, and cut away the 2 circles there in another move, another part feature. So we'll start sketch on the XY rectangle. What did I say? 7 by 2. Finish sketch. Extrude. Extrude it 4 front to back. Okay, and put a sketch on the top just like we did before. Circle, snap to the center point of the edge, center point there. Finish sketch, extrude, choose that, switch direction, but we only want extruded 2. And then for the 2 holes there, put a sketch here. And The distance, well, one of the holes shares a center point, shares this center point. When we started a sketch here, it automatically projected the center point of this arc, which conveniently is the center point of the smaller circle. So we're going to put one circle here, and then we need another similar size circle that is 3 away from it, which we can use just with a line, a dimension line, and that will dimension our vertical dimension by locking it in. So we need 2 there. We'll get another line just for the sake of spacing the circles apart, making sure it's horizontal. Dimension that to 3, and then another circle on this end with a diameter of 2. Finish sketch, extrude. Make sure you choose what you want. Switch it to cut through all, hit OK. All right, for this part over here, we need, so there's sort of a base that's 2 by 4 front to back. And I'm just going to make this entire sort of tower part that is, its total height is 1, 2, 3 to the center point, 2 more is 5. So we're just going to start with a sketch on the front. That's a rectangle from here. This rectangle needs to be 2 wide and 5 tall. And finish sketch, extrude this the other direction, a distance of 4. And now we have a couple things to cut out. This part right here, this U shape, is we're going to make with a circle that is centered front to back and 3 off the ground. And in the same sketch, we'll make a rectangle that's sort of centered on top of it. And that combined shape will cut extrude all the way through to the left, technically. So put a sketch here. We need a circle, and the circle needs to be diameter of 2, but we still need 2 dimensions for this. And we want to dimension the distance from the center point of the circle to the bottom. That needs to be, what was it, 3? Was it 3? Yeah, 3. And then the distance from the center point of the circle to the side is 2, which it kind of got a soft snap there, which is fine. And then we need a rectangle that starts on the left, like 9 o'clock on the circle, and goes all the way up to the top of our tower part, but then all the way to that edge. And we'll finish sketch and extrude and choose both the rectangle and the circle, all parts of the circle, switch it to cut and through all. And then the 2 edges on the top, we're going to use another part feature called the fillet, not fillet, fillet. And we want to choose just this edge and that edge and set radius to 1. And if you accidentally choose like an extra edge, you kind of have to hit cancel and go again. There isn't really a way to remove, but either way, there you go. That is part 13. Part 14, a lot of similar features. Looks very similar to the, I don't know, one of the ones up there, 11, or a bunch of them. But I'm going to start with a rectangle that is, actually, let's just sketch the footprint and extrude it up in one shape. So the footprint of this is a rectangle that is the distance from this center point to this center point, but here. So the distance of those center points are 1, 2, 3, 4 to here, 5, 6, and then 2 more. So it's 8 wide, 4 technically front to back. So actually, since I'm sketching the footprint, I'm going to sketch on the XZ plane. Again, it doesn't really matter. There's no up in space, and these are relatively simple shapes, but let's just go ahead and do it that way. And it needs to be 8 by 4. And I'm going to go ahead and do the circles, which will end up being semicircles on either side. They are just concentric with the center point of the side of the rectangle. And extrude, choose this, choose this, choose this, choose this, choose this, and extrude at a height of 2. That's our base. And then we have a couple other part features. We have, let's take care of this side right here, which we'll do same as before with one circle that shares the center point with this. Then 4 inches away, we'll do another circle and then close it off with lines or rectangle and cut extrude all at the same time. So let's put a sketch there. I'm just going to spin it to look at it. Let's get a circle, a diameter of 2, and then a line that separates them perfectly horizontal, a distance of 4. Then another circle, also 2. And then you could use a rectangle or lines to connect over. So you get a sort of a soft snap to the top center of this, and then over to the bottom center of this. And finish sketch, extrude. We want to extrude that, and that, and switch it to cut through all, hit OK. And the last portion, we'll put a new sketch to do this part right here. And we are just going to make a circle that would be sort of this right here. We'll extrude it 4, and then we'll put a sketch on top for this and cut extrude all the way through. So we already have a sketch going. We'll get a circle that starts there and snaps somewhere to the edge. It'll be the right size. And we don't need to dimension it. We just need to finish sketch, extrude, and we want to extrude at a distance of 4. And then to cut through the hole, put a sketch on top, get a circle that starts at the same center point and dimension that to 2, and finish sketch, extrude, choose that, switch it to cut through all, hit OK. Okay, and then for part 15, the last one for this clip, a couple of different things going on here. The key is that each of these tiny circles are 1 inch diameter, and there are arcs right here. We'll use the fillet tool. These have a diameter, excuse me, a radius of 1.5, but you can tell from these extension lines that they share a center point. And this one back here is also the same size, but 1.5 in from its 2 nearest sides. So we'll start sort of with that bottom plate. And the bottom plate is 1 tall. Its total width is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wide. And the distance front to back is 6. So 1 by 10 extruded 6. That's not what I meant to do. Let's edit that. Rectangle, 10 wide, 1 tall. Finish sketch, extruded 6. And then let's go ahead and put those 3 1-inch circles. Put them roughly in the correct place. They're all a diameter of 1. And so for any circle, there are 3 things you need. You need its size, in this case 1, but for each of these, we need its distance front to back and distance left to right. And for each of these, it's 1.5 from the front and 1.5 from the side. And you're dimensioning, you're doing the 3-click dimensioning. The distance from the center point to the side is 1.5, and the distance from the center point to the front, 1.5. Same thing here, center to back, 1.5, center to side, 5. Finish sketch, extrude, choose this, and choose this, switch it to cut and through all, hit OK. To do these front, corners, these rounded over edges, we're going to use the fillet tool again. And I want to fillet this edge and this edge, those tiny edges, and the radius is 1.5. There we go. And then for the tower part, I'm just going to draw the footprint, which is 4 wide and 2 deep, starting from the back left corner. So it's like, this is the footprint right here. And I'm going to extrude it up 1, 2, 3, 4, just to do this bottom brick. And then I'll add the arc after that and the circle after that. And then this inside edge will be a sort of a reverse fillet, but you'll see that when we get to that. So we need a sketch on this top face, get a rectangle, and the rectangle is 2 front to back, technically, and 4 wide, and we'll finish sketch, extrude it up 4, then put a sketch on the front, circle from the center to the corner, and we don't need to dimension it because we use snaps, extrude, choose just this, switch direction, and we only want to extrude it 2. Then for the hole, same thing, sketch on the front, circle from the center point, diameter 2, finish sketch, extrude, choose this, switch it to cut through all, hit OK. And the last step is this inside curve, which we can use the fillet to sort of curve in. If we get the fillet tool and choose this short edge right here, it will curve in. And it's the radius of this positive fillet, I don't know what you would call it. From these center points, you can see that it's 2 in every direction. That's what these sort of floating little crosses are. And so it's a radius of 2, and hit OK. And that is part 15. And there you go.